Hi, everyone. I'm back with a very dear person to me that actually came to my very first course I gave here in Iceland. She is Icelandic and her name is Sigridur, or Sigrid, some people might say, but we call her Sigga. It's easier. So much welcome and thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
And like I said, you were with me on my very first course and I had no clue what would happen.
No, neither did I. It was just before I was diagnosed with RA.
Yeah.
So I just saw the ad. I think it was a friend of mine, that's a relative of yours or something.
Ah,
He pointed it out to me, and I was just, yeah, that's interesting. And at that point, I just wanted to try everything. I was so ill. I was so ill that I could hardly lift a cup of coffee or take a proper walk. And I spent most of the time in bed. I had difficulties working, and I was tired all the time. So I was ready. I was definitely ready to try everything.
yeah.
And so I believed, okay, why not try changing my diet and how I and my lifestyle? If it doesn't work, then that's it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was in July
Mhm.
2018,
Yeah.
and and in October I was diagnosed. I
Yes.
had already gotten a bit better over the months. So
Yes.
I had an inkling that the changing of lifestyle was helping me, but I didn't know how much because when I was diagnosed, I got medicine, of course, and all that. What it's called, methotrexate.
Yeah.
A lot of people with autoimmune systems get that medicine.
Yeah.
So I got that, but a year later, and I got a lot better
Yeah.
over the year till
Yeah.
2019. My symptoms were so much down, and I wasn't swollen anymore, and I got more energy, and I was just really, really happy.
Mhm.
And then in 2019, I had moved back to Iceland, and in,
Yeah. You were living in
I
London
was
at the
living in London at the
time.
time. I was
Mhm.
diagnosed at the London Free Hospital, Royal Free Hospital, which is one of the most amazing hospital in the world. And actually, the doctors there, they were very understanding, and they supported me in my change of lifestyle. And they said to me, "We know it matters a lot. It's just that the researchers they are still not good enough that
Mhm.
we cannot recommend it. But if you do, then we support you
Okay.
100%."
Great.
So
Wonderful.
yeah, so that was really great.
Yeah.
When I moved back to Iceland, it was not the same. They
Wow.
didn't believe it had anything to do with how much better I felt, and they just made joke of me. And but then my meds started to give me grief. I had a lot of rash in my face, and I got some disturbance in my heartbeat, and it was just really difficult. So my doctor, I would never have quit my medicine except with a doctor, but he said, let's quit it now. And when your symptoms come back, then you come back to me and you will get another med.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to cut a long story short, I've never gone back to him. I called him 6 months later and said, "But well, I'm really good. It's I don't have
I'm
any
still symptom free.
symptoms. I'm symptom free." And he said, "Yeah, well, there can be a break in symptoms. That's very usual. That's yeah. You just come back to me when they come."
Yeah. And
So
now,
that's
8 years
fine.
later.
Yeah, and still without any meds. I don't even take painkillers.
Wow.
That's like a miracle.
Yes. So you probably came to the conclusion that it was more than the medicine that got you
Oh, yeah.
back.
And
Yes.
over the years, I've come to realize exactly what it is because people are so different. It's so different. Like you always point out in your
Mhm.
courses, we are all so different. So it's different how we eat to make us better. We always have to move a certain amount. We must not overdo it, and it has to do with also not being really stressed, to be able to handle stress. There are so many things But if I find that it's also like a domino effect,
Yeah.
because as soon as I wasn't feeling that bad, as soon as I had quit eating sugar and drinking coffee, I could sleep.
Yeah.
And when I could sleep, I got more energy. Then I could move. Then I
Yeah.
started walking a lot outside. And all those years later, I've just started lifting weights. And if someone would have told me that in 2018, I don't know if I'd laughed or cried, probably both. So
Wow.
it's, yeah.
Yes. And amazing to hear. And I remember, so basically, when you're saying you started working with me in July, you get diagnosed in October, you were already feeling better, but
Yeah.
you told me, I think, isn't it correct, that you were actually told that you had like 9 points, 9 points out of 10, how severe your condition was.
Yeah, it's true. I still have a proof
Yes.
paper.
So,
I was
so if
really
you
bad.
would have been diagnosed in July, you would have probably had top score of
Yeah,
like how sick you were, how
yeah.
severe your condition was.
Yeah, and even though I thought that I was feeling a lot better, like a year later, I've because it was such a different. I could walk and I could do normal things, but I was still for many years I was like unable to lift uh, pots and pans that were heavy. My husband did all the heavy weight around the home, and so I've felt that every year I get something new.
Yes.
Even to this day, I get better and better and better.
Amazing, because of course you were like one of my early students, and I remember your story so well. And I think even that you told me after 6 months that you were really healthy, that
Yeah,
you had,
that's how I felt.
you were fine, like, and still you're saying like you keep on improving.
Yeah,
So then of course, coming from where you were, probably 6 months later, you felt that this would be it. Like you wouldn't get any better. This was like heaven probably for you.
it was. I was not, I was just so grateful that I didn't imagine that I would climb any mountain and so
Oh,
I think I
yeah,
was just really happy to be dancing again and doing stuff I really like.
yeah.
So it's, but yeah, but it's still improving. And I'm even more grateful now because I can play with my granddaughter, for example, run and do stuff with her that I would never have done. Not even before I got sick, I think, because I was too overweight at the time and didn't have much energy even before I got sick.
Yeah, just like normal lethargy and
Yeah,
and
just
weight problem and stuff that is
yeah.
so common. Like even though we are not have developed any real sickness or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
now I'm 64, so I should be much, yeah, I should have much less energy than when I was 45, but but I think I have more energy now than I was when I was 45 or at least 50.
Yes. So you were really turning the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of declining, you are still moving up.
Yeah.
64 years old.
The only proof to my age are like more lines in my face and stuff like that. But I like that.
Yeah.
I feel younger than I was, a lot younger.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. And I remember you talking about in the beginning, you just like it was painful just getting out of bed to
Yeah.
stand up, like standing on your feet. That was painful.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really difficult, especially in the mornings. And when I was at my worst, I had so much trouble getting dressed. My husband had to put my bra on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If he wasn't home, I just didn't wear any bra.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just really hard to get dressed and
Yes.
even to comb my hair because I had to lift my arm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I still remember the feelings.
Yeah.
And I haven't, uh, even though I haven't had any severe symptoms, from time to time, I feel like it's like a shadow pain or something that comes and goes and maybe lasts for half a day or something that
Mhm.
reminds me that I
Yeah.
still have the
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah.
there somewhere, but I just have to be really careful.
Yeah.
But if I am really careful
Hmm.
to what I eat and how I live,
Yeah.
not to be too stressed, not to work too much, to move the right amount, yeah, and sleep,
Yeah.
especially sleep.
Yeah.
That's really good. Not
Yeah.
worry about that.
No worries, no worries. And the amazing thing is still, like you say, that you have to be considerate with yourself of like not overdoing it. And I think that is probably something that we all have to learn. And it is like life is always about balance, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
But at the same time, you are telling us that you are still feeling stronger every year with all the additional years, like you have some number that you can
Yeah.
decorate yourself with. And at the same time, you are trying new things. Like now, like seeing you that you are starting to lift weights.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I never would have thought that I would do it. I find it extremely boring, but I can feel it's so good for me, and I'm in
Yeah.
good company. A friend of mine wanted me to come and just try in the group, and our trainer is what's it called, psychotherapist.
Yeah. Psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've thought that was really important. She makes sure that I'm not overdoing in it. I do things right, not
Yeah.
to hurt myself. So
Yeah.
I don't think I might have done it just out of the blue. It's with a lot of
Yeah.
care.
He's a physical therapist, probably then.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's amazing. And I remember this beautiful memory of you when you started to really feel better. That first was that you could actually go out for walks and these beautiful walks in London when like spring came, and I remember that. And then it was that you actually celebrated some kind of feeling better with signing up for tap dancing. And I
Yeah,
thought it
exactly.
was so beautiful. I
Yeah.
will always remember that.
It was so much fun and one of the best things I've done. I think I would have continued learning tap dancing if I had stayed in London because it was so much fun. And it was the spring of 2019.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing just buying my first tap dancing shoes because I always wanted to do that. I wanted to do that when I was 8.
Yes.
So it was a very old dream. It was not
Yeah.
possible to learn it here. So and all the other students were like 30 years younger than me. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just celebrating being able to do it finally and celebrating your new
Yeah,
existence of like living kind of pain-free then at the
yeah.
yeah. Oh wow, that's definitely amazing. And what would you kind of can you imagine where you would be today if this wouldn't have happened?
I sometimes imagine it would be just like a horror story to continue living all those years with the pain.
Yeah.
I I admire people that can do it. I was just so it is so hard. I don't think anyone can imagine anyone that hasn't tried it what it's like to live with arthritis that is extremely bad.
Yeah.
Every day is such a big challenge.
Yeah.
I know definitely. If I hadn't gone to your course, I wouldn't doing the things I'm doing today. That's for sure. I wouldn't be working on writing. That's another dream. It was not just tap dancing. I'm writing fiction, and it's going well now, actually. And I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be able to run around with my granddaughter. There are so many things. I wouldn't be developing my recipes, which is
Yes.
one of my love. I really love to make recipes. So it's for the gluten-free
Yeah.
sugarless recipes.
Yeah. And that is so amazing. Like you really took the program further because you kind of created this website and this world around the food that we are using and developed these amazing, amazing recipes and beautiful recipes. So definitely, I will share the link to your site because you were so smart to include it, having it in English as well. So
Yeah, I wanted to do it, but because when I moved back home, I was sure that it would be difficult to keep the English going.
yeah,
And it's still difficult for me, like to speak
yeah.
uh, spoken English because I'm like a rusty old tractor when I
You're doing so amazing.
no, but by writing my recipes in English as well and my website,
Yeah,
I kept going from
yeah,
was when I was living in London. So
yeah.
I'm very glad that I did now.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna bring a lot of joy to my community. So that's for one thing, like amazing. So just it has been such a pleasure to hear your story again, Sika, and just the hope that you can bring to people with your amazing experience and just like just this factor that the doctor said, like, call me when you get worse again. That was kind of he wouldn't expect anything else.
No, it was never if, it was always when.
Yeah. And that just shows us, like I'm always saying, like we don't have a good cure from the kind of the drugs because they just keep us, they damp the symptoms, but they don't cure them, the
Oh,
cause.
exactly. I think that's the main thing. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. I don't know where I would be if not for you and your program. I cannot even think about it. and
No.
and just, not just me, all the other women that I've got to know in your program. It's the support is incredible as well. So
Yeah,
that's important too, because
yeah,
everyone
and
is human. So it's easy to get fall off the wagon. And then
yeah.
it's so good to have the support.
Yeah, to have the community, which is so important
Yeah,
to belong to a group. It's like
yeah,
always difficult in life to be kind of alone with your
exactly.
struggles, and yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I admire you guys so much every day. I wouldn't be doing my work without you, of like doing the hard work and showing the results and be the living example of what is possible. That is the most joy to me, and that is the reason I keep doing it. It's like I'm the luckiest one. So
No, I am. I always hope that the doctors will come and like examine us or something, just
yeah,
because it's like miracle. It's like
yeah,
it's not a quick fix. It's a really difficult life change, but it's just so worth it.
yeah. And I know, like, I somehow I think it's just kind of not in their neighborhood, kind of like because they don't have the same tools and the
Exactly.
same time to work with people. But I know they are following me,
Yeah.
and that is like enough for me because then I know that the knowledge is there. I know they keep on asking my people in
Yeah.
detail, like, what are you doing? And they get really interested because they see the change and the difference. So for that, I am very grateful, even though it's going to be a while until they will manage and find ways to integrate it because
Yeah.
they simply just don't have the means, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right.
It needs such a big change, but hopefully, I believe that we will get there. But it's going to take a while. But
Yeah,
at the end, we do what we do the
we
best.
do. And good luck to everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, Sika, for sharing your story. Thank you for being here with us and giving us this beautiful feeling in our chests.
My pleasure.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Bye.